yet. But if you're at home and you're tech savvy and you're watching the streaming service, Scott would love it if you would say, hey, Shabbat Shalom, Scott. So then he'll know who's watching. Shabbat Shalom. You know what I thought you guys were okay? You could do just without the words and I'll hear it again. That's okay? And then we'll boom, and then I'll call out Yom Zell. We're not going to one together because it'll get them, because they all kind of come in and they'll hear you and they'll play in. Ready for us to do it now? What? Now? Whenever you're ready, yeah. Thank you. I'm going to step away so they hear you guys. And you know what we're doing, right? Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to have you all with us. I realize a little bit of explanation is in order for those who truly are not as connected to the Jewish organizational world. We have guests tonight from, I'm not going to call them old anymore. They're going to take that the wrong way. The last Southwest Council of the Union for Reform Judaism. And the Union for Reform Judaism, of course, is the organization to which we are members, which supports the Hebrew Union College, which helps prepare rabbis and cantors and educators and communal service workers, that has camps, as Green Family Camp is one, that provides many, many other resources to congregations. Our own Dr. Michael Ross is a part of the current Union for Reform Judaism board. The Southwest Council was comprised of many leaders in their congregations, a lot of former presidents, and a lot of different positions in brotherhood and sisterhood. And so after that time of service, they were asked to serve in an area that included Texas and Oklahoma and Louisiana and Mississippi and Arkansas and part of Tennessee. And we had the joy, at least for me, it was a joy of working together for a number of years. But the most important thing is for you to remember is they're all former temple leaders. So it took a little longer for them to kind of get focused here. So don't do as they do. Just welcome them in our presence. They've worked with me. There's no sense of rabbinic awe there, and they're my friends. So don't learn any bad habits from them, just the good ones. But it is wonderful to have them with us for other reasons that I'll share as well later. I had the honor of succeeding Rabbi Larry Jake Jakovsky, Alav Shalom, just as I had the honor of succeeding a wonderful rabbi here as well, who's still very much a part of our congregation. And Rabbi Jakovsky loved Abraham Heschel. You could not have a service without a Heschel quote. As members of this congregation know, I'm always picking readings and reflections to get us ready for Shabbat. I have not used Heschel in a while, but this seemed like the time. The meaning of the Sabbath is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On the Sabbath, we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Yom Zeh Yisrael, this is Israel's day of light and joy, a Sabbath of rest. Yom Zeh Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha.
Yom Zeh Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha,
Shabbat menucha.
Yom Zeh Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha.
I want to welcome to the beam, of course, Sharna and Christine and Jeannie Long, part of our choir. Our director of music is in an opera this weekend, and so cannot be with us. That's a plug for you to go check out the opera. I think it's tomorrow or Sunday as well. And we thank you for representing our choir, each of you, and helping us tonight as we prepare for Shabbat. So if you're not already there, prepare for Shabbat. Now, usually what that means is turn off or silence your phone if you haven't already. But it also means not just turn off your phone physically, but turn off your phone mentally. Meaning break free from it. Let the week go for a minute. Just that collective breath again. Take that moment to say, here I am in this moment, in this Shabbat. When we look to the Torah, we will look to a portion that reminds us of Shabbat and asks us to reflect on the meaning of the words Mikra Kodesh, which some call a holy day, but it's really a sanctified calling out in a much clumsier translation, or some like to say a sacred convocation. Whatever it is, Mikra Kodesh, a time of calling out, sanctifying, grounding, breathing, resting, paying attention to that which is always here, but we often miss. And so we turn to page 142 for Kabbalat Shabbat, for turning to the angels around us, the angel within us, the presence of God that is always there but is so often distant. A word about our prayer books. We have two versions, the lighter version and the heavier version. They both have the service in them, but they have different page numbers in them. So if you only have one set of page numbers, just turn to 142. If you find you have two sets of page numbers, I'm always referring to the one in brackets. So page 142, Shalom Aleichem, peace be to each of us who serve as angels of peace, as that which will bring us into the Sabbath. So peace be to each of you. Peace be to all of those that help us let go of the week and welcome Shabbat.
Shalom
Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. At the bottom of page 143, we read together, "And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too, yourself, be a messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends." On the next page, we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. We rise on the next page for the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. We remain standing through Shema. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Baruch Adonai, We read together the bottom of page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe.
Who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates,
Thoughtfully alters the time and changes the courses, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are a creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Everlasting God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Please be seated. We turn to page 155. Read together in English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you this day. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the door of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 157, as we prepare for Michamocha. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. V'ne'amar kifada Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Praised are you, Adonai, who redeems Israel. Page 161. We read together at the bottom. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter, the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace for all we love, for all Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 164, as we know, to feel the central prayer section of our service, which begins with a prayer to know even what to say, and then continues through a series of other prayers that recollect our past, speak of holiness and Shabbat and groundedness. Once again, Abraham Heschel said, Rabbi Heschel, 3 things are necessary to attain a sense of significant being: God, a soul, and a moment. These are always there. To which we might respond, really? You set the bar so high. But those things are always there: God, a soul, and a moment. And perhaps that is why the central prayer section of our service begins, God, just open our lips. Just help us know to even be in the moment. Help us to know even what to say. God, a soul, and a moment. The moment is here. God is surely there somewhere. Where are we? Oh God, give us the groundedness to be, just to be. We rise and join together.
kadosh, ukadoshim b'kol yom yahalu chasecha. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Feel free to continue standing or seated, Hebrew or English, looking out the window, looking at the ceiling, however you want to use this time, this moment, as we continue on our own, joining together again in 10 pages on 180. The Torah portion we're reading from is Emor, Shabbat. And we could have read the part in which the special sacrifices the priests are going to offer are mentioned for the festivals. We could have mentioned the procedure for getting the priests involved, all those things. But in fact, we're going to mention the passage that speaks about Passover, Shabbat, and the Omer. You'll either be excited or relieved. And I'll share why in a few moments. You don't actually have books in front of you, but so that you know, I'll translate. We're going to be reading from 23 verses, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 1 through 8, and then jumping to 15 and 16 because I want to read both those parts. So we will be jumping. Page 364 is where we will turn for Seder Kriyat Torah, take the Torah from the Ark, and after walking the Torah through the sanctuary, I'll be inviting up anybody who has a birthday in May who doesn't mind coming up. I'll be reading from the Torah. You're not reading from the Torah. You should just stand next to me while I read from the Torah. Unless you want to read from the Torah, you'll be for the Aliyah if you're comfortable joining in. If not, but this is our chance once a month to offer God's blessing upon all those who have a birthday, because a birthday is significant, a year of life and health and strength. So we turn to page 364 and we open the Ark as we take out the Torah. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael, b'kedush Shanato. Please be seated. Unless your birthday's in May. That's right. Whoop. And the blessing for the Torah is on page 370. No, fibbed. 368. If you want to see where it is, and we'll unroll the Torah for a moment. And and there. Okay, so that's what we're reading from. So here we go. So it's a good month for birthdays. I got enough candy. All right, there we go. So let's join together, but you guys can lead us off. We'll join in. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Adonai, and you can come closer if you don't have to, but I won't make you read, I promise. In fact, you can be checking up on me. One of the times the festivals occur in the Torah, here in the book of Leviticus, by Yedaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor, and God spoke to Moses saying, Daber el b'nei Yisrael v'amarta alehem, speak to the Israelites and say to them, Moadei Adonai asher tikra'u otam mikrai kodesh. These are the times, the seasons that you will proclaim as, people say holy convocations, but really kind of sanctified, called out moments is a nice clunky translation, but I like what that conveys. Elehem moadei, these are those occasions. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh malacha, 6 days you will work. Remember, notice Shabbat is the first one. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat Shabbaton, and the seventh day is a Shabbat. So Shin Bet Tav is the root of sort of rest, and this is a Shabbat of Shabbats. It's used two different ways. Mikra Kodesh, again, there's that word, this holy calling out convocation. Kol malacha lo ta'asu, all work, whatever work is, and the rabbis, the Talmud come up with all kinds of categories of work. Lo ta'asu, Shabbat ki, it is a Shabbat. We'll just leave that untranslated. L'Adonai, to God, b'chol moshvotechem, in all of your places of inhabitation. Ela moadei Adonai mikrai kodesh. These are those times that are holy convocations. Asher tikra'u otam, that you will call out and proclaim them. B'moadam, in their time. B'chodesh harishon, in the first month. Now it's important because we're talking about Passover, and you're going to say, wait, I thought Passover was in the spring in the 7th month. But in the Torah, or at least you'll say, I thought Rosh Hashanah was the beginning of the year. But in the Bible, Passover is the first month. Rosh Hashanah is a new year in a different way. But this is the first month. Harishon ba'arba asar yom asar l'chodesh, in the 14th day of the month, Bein Haravim Pesach l'Adonai. So Ben, in the kind of right around evening Erev, it will be a Pesach to God, and we'll leave that untranslated too. Uvchamisha asar yom l'chodesh, and on the 15th day of the month, Hazeh, this month, Chag HaMatzot l'Adonai, it will be a festival of matzah to God. Okay, little rabbi's commentary. If you're with me, you'll notice, wait a minute, the 14th is the day and the 15th of the day. The 14th is Pesach, the 15th is the Feast of Matzah. I'll let you figure out. There's lots of commentaries. I'm just going to point that out to you. What is this? Could this be two holidays that were later combined into one? Maybe. All right. Shiva Yamim, 7 days, Matzot Tochelu. 7 days you'll eat matzah, unleavened bread. But Yom HaRishon Mikrai Kodesh, Yiyelachem, The first day will be that Mikra Kodesh, again, whatever that is. Shabbat was called a Mikra Kodesh. Now Passover, the first day, is a Mikra Kodesh. Lachem kol malacha avodah lo ta'asu. All forms of work you won't do. V'hikravtam Eishel Adonai, and you will bring a fire to God. Shiva Yamim, 7 days, B'yom HaShvi'i, and on the seventh day, so the seventh day of Passover, again it'll be a Mikra Kodesh, whatever that is. Kol Malacha Avodah Lo Ta'asu, all forms of work you won't do. Now I'm going to just skip a bunch of verses so you can see where we're moving now. Usfartem lechem mimacharat HaShabbat miyom havechem et Amar Hatfuna Sheva Shabbatot Tamima. So you will count from, they say, the morrow. So they really mean, they call it a Shabbat, which is interesting. You will count from after the Shabbat, but they don't mean Shabbat. They mean the first day of Passover. So interesting that that's referred to here in that way as a Shabbat. You will count from that first day of the Shabbat, and you will bring in Omer Tnufa, so a sort of an offering, a tenth of something, an offering of a wave, of a sheep, of a something, seven Shabbatot, so 7 weeks. You will bring these whole until Ad Machra Shabbat, until the day after the Shabbat, and you will count Hashvi'it, Tisparu, you will count Chamishim Yom, you will count 50 days, 7 of 7, 50 days, the Hikravtem Mincha Chadasha Ladonai, and you will bring an offering before God, Moshvotechem, in all of your inhabitations. So, just to clarify, you're going to have this holiday, and then you're going to have 7 weeks of 7. You're going to bring whatever an Omer is. Let's leave that for a minute. A sheaf offering, a waving, whatever. And then on the 50th day, you're going to have another celebration. If I've got you for some of it, that's good enough. We'll explain more of it in a minute. And the blessing after reading from the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Torah. So before you go, we want to ask God's blessing upon all of you. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, and Rachel, and Leah, the one who has blessed our own generations before us, bless you, give you strength in the coming year and wholeness. May you see each day as a new journey, as a step. We call ourselves however many, I'm not going to ask you how many years old, but we don't really say how many years young. Our prayer for you is that on most of those days you will feel however many years, I'm not going to put you on the spot, young, that each day will be filled with new opportunities and new challenges, that the pains you may have felt in the past year will lead to new opportunities for growth and for beginnings. For those of you that have had wonderful years, free from pain, free from illness, may the next one be another one. We ask that God will watch over each of you and give you strength, health, and peace, shleimut, an inner sense of health. And all of us say amen and happy birthday. And before you go down, this is your, oh good. So it's Nostalgia Shabbat. So for every one of you, we have like nostalgia candies. We have sugar babies. We have Smarties. We have like gummies, but like old school gummies wrapped up. So as you go down, unless of course, oh, Charms, who remembers this, you know? Oh, a few. All right, there we go. So now you wish your birthday was in May. So I'm going to leave these up here. And this will be like incentive to check the newsletter. I'm going to have you take one as you go down. We want to wish every one of you a happy birthday. And let's sing in Hebrew. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday. as you go down, please take some candy if you're on restricted diets. I'm sure somebody in your family can give a candy to. And if any of these is from your childhood, then, especially claim that one.
For this one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see what. Where'd that little boy go?
Somebody, you'll be very popular. Good. Yes.
Tony, is this good?
Or would you prefer these? I don't know. What would you prefer? Well, we have extras. June birthdays. I don't know. Oh, they're up here. You earn them. They weren't as popular. See that? You had to up it. Last time we had Hershey's Kisses. It's gonna get to a point. I don't know. Before we put the Torah away, I just a couple. Okay, it won't be a couple of words, but it'll be a rabbi's definition of a couple of words. Really, just because it's an early service, but I want to at least share a word or two about what's going on in this Torah portion. This Torah portion gives us the Omer. The Omer, which was an agricultural offering. Jews would bring this tenth of an ephah, whatever that is, and they would bring it each day as they would count the times leading up to the barley harvest. It would culminate with the festival of Shavuot, which is only 2 weeks away. And so you can see we're on day 35, if you weren't counting. And over time, when our people were less agriculturally inclined, what was emphasized more was less the barley harvest and more the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai. But either way, the idea that these are a counting of 50 days leading to the giving of Torah, of knowledge, of insights important. It's been suggested, not by me, I'm just sharing it, that the fact that we begin with matzah, which is unleavened bread, which is incomplete, and we conclude with the giving of Torah, or Shavuot. And the offering on Shavuot was not barley, but loaves of bread. So you had something that was full, that was complete, that was offered. It was the fulfillment of a promise, if you will, of a real blessing, something could use. Also takes us through that area of being free. Passover, we're free. But on Shavuot, we get Torah. We move from slavery to freedom. We move from slavery to rest. And we have this emphasis on Shabbat, this challenge of Shabbat. We're told that there will be holy convocations, and we're ready for Passover and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, but the first thing we're given is Shabbat. And I think one of the reasons we're given Shabbat is because not only is Shabbat the hardest, but living in the moment is the hardest. We have a holiday of counting, but the counting is meant to be in ascent to total awareness. So in fact, if I were to ask how many of you count, I imagine the majority of you count. You're counting something. I won't ask how many are counting till the service is over. But certainly, we're looking at our watches. We're counting. We're reflecting. We know what we're doing tomorrow. We know what we're doing next week. We know when we're going. Some of us might be counting to retirement. Some of us might be counting to when kids are out of the house. Some might be counting to when they come home. Some might be counting, you could fill them in. We've become very time and counting focused. But this Torah portion talks about a different type of counting. It talks about a counting that is an awareness, about being in the moment of Shabbat and saying, what have I missed when I was too busy counting other things? We lose track of time, as you know, as some of you know better than I know. We lose track of time and we say, how did we get there? And this Torah portion offers for us an opportunity to think about how we use our time. So, if we are not farmers and we haven't been worrying about moving from barley to bread, how else can we use Shavuot? Well, many people have begun to use Shavuot as a time of internal reflection. And if you were to go online right now and type in O-M-E-R, Omer, you will find many, many, many websites devoted to reflecting internally. What is my thought of the day? What is my reflection? How can I take 5 minutes and be in the moment? I looked at one of those websites, which has 50 different reflections for the 50 days of Omer, all of which are meant to get us to Shabbat, to stop, to reflect and rest and explore something new. And today's Shabbat, or I should say Omer reading was, be aware of the gift of the people in your lives. I thought, wow, it's perfect. I couldn't have planned that. But it's true. Be aware of the people in your lives who have brought you to a better, higher moment. And then become aware of them and become especially aware of the last time they knew you were aware of them. So that's an exercise for the Omer. But if you go to these sites, you will find exercises to have awareness, to look inward, to ask what our blessings are for every day during this period of counting. So what is our Omer? What is it we need to bring? What is it we're no longer aware of? And if I'm emphasizing this a little too much, it's because, and I didn't plan it this way, I am, one, looking out at a lot of faces that I've known for a lot of years, that I worked with in my prior job. And I just got off from a plane where I was awarded what we like to call a survival doctorate, which is those of us who have remained active in the Jewish community for 25 years return to our alma mater and get a degree, not an honorary doctorate that really has on it what we've done these past years. Now, you could say Mazel Tov, wonderful, but what is especially wonderful but also jarring is you're back there with all your friends. And as you can imagine, if you think back 25 years, some of those friends you've kept in touch with monthly, some of those friends you've seen at conventions yearly, and some of those friends you haven't seen in 24 and a half years. And part of the joy was finding out what they had done. Part of the sadness was finding out who some of them had lost. And part of the surreal moment was, where did 25 years go? And then the ceremony was over. The awards were granted. I turned to some friends, had a little cheese, how are you? Looked up, and just like that, they'd all run off with their families to dinner. And as grateful as I was, I could not get over the sinking feeling, will it be another 25 years? For some, till we're called up, God willing we're there, to be honored for our 50th at the convention of the Central Conference of American Rabbis or the Association of Retired Rabbis, which is, it's an honor to get to this moment. It's a little bit uncomfortable, surreal, to come face to face with the time and where it's gone. And so this is a perfect Torah portion. This Torah portion asks us to use these 50 days to say, where have you been and where are you going, and have you made the time to stop? As, and I have to quote him again tonight because it's this Shabbat, as Rabbi Zhukovsky's, Alav Shalom, favorite rabbi would say, just to be a blessing, just to live is holy. Just to live is Mikrai Kodesh. So can we find the time in these remaining 2 weeks of Omer just to be and just to remember and just to rediscover a little bit of that which we have lost? Shabbat Shalom. We turn to page 371. We think of those who are in need of healing. O God of our mothers and fathers, bring healing to all those names we mention now. Kelly Webb, Annette Dover, Charlotte Fios, Corinne Jacobson, Lita Marishak, Leslie Arnov, Stacy Lewis, Alan Lusky, Charlie Free, Jeffrey Marks, Robert Klein, Patrick Cooney, Arthur Letterman, Susan Smith, Elliot Blumberg, Pauline Wittenberg, William Westerman, Ellen Mack, and those names we might wish to add as I look now. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebera imotenu neko arabracha yavotenu. As those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renew of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We rise as we return the Torah to the ark. Moshe Livnei Yisrael Avi Adonai B'Yadmo Moshe We are going to turn to page 586 as we remain standing for Alenu. Ushemo echad, Ushemo echad, Ushemo echad. Please be seated. It is our custom here at Beth-El to begin seated and rise if we hear the name of one who has passed that we remember on this Shabbat, and then to rise together to bring support. On this Shabbat, in the silence of memory, we think of all who touched our lives, not only those we remember this Shabbat, but those who are with us always, or perhaps in the busyness of life, less and less so. And so we pause and we remember. And we remember a dish or a story or a smile or a joke, so that they might come back to us with the warmth of memory. On this Shabbat, we mention the recent deaths of Florian Schwartz and Mark Torrig, who passed in this 30-day period of mourning known as Shloshim. And we mention the yard sites, the anniversaries of their deaths marked this Shabbat of Jack Berger, David Bilski, Mina Block, Sandra Tushenblum, Bernard Bodner, Linda Ray Bomesh, Shelley Bovin, Sidney Bushner, Francis Carlisle, Adolph Cohen, Joanne Fells, Sylvia Fenton, Nathan Frankel, Pauline Frankel, Morris B. Freed, Sidney Freed, Charlotte Goldman, Dina Gressman, Guillermo Guzman, John Hannon, Lucy Hayes, Mary Hendelman, Adela Herbert, Betty Herman, Hannah Klein, Rose Eileen Litwin, Henry Loeb, Benny Lusky, Lester M. Maskell, Estelle Avery Merkin, Gershon Myron, Edward Osser, Hannah Poggen, Rosalind Poggen, Mildred Perlman, Blanche Pickle, Odessa Friedman Plost, Goldie Roberts, Samuel Rosen, Sam Rosenthal, Mimi Ross, Theodore Safarin, Lester Schneeweiss, William Schwartz, Evelyn Simon, Beverly G. Skugert, Meyer Jack Starr, John Stein, Barry Van, Betty Weltman, James Weltman, Sophia Williams, Victor S. Wong. And if any of our visitors are observing a yard site this Shabbat or this week, you can mention their name as you rise. Then together we all rise. We turn to page 598 and bring support to those who are in mourning, those who remember. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach erutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chai echon u'vyom echon u'chai jechol beit Yisrael, b'galal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Hey shmei rabbah m'varach leil meil maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitah shmei d'kudsha b'richu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for blessing to us. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Our service concludes on page 647, right? With that tune you heard when you were coming in, tonight's Shabbat tune 2, Ozi v'zimrat ya Adonai v'lishua, from the Torah, Adonai is my strength and might, God will be my salvation. Ozi v'zimrat ya v'yehi Lishua, Ozi v'zimrat ya v'yehi Lishua, Ozi To every one of you, we wish a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat filled with peace, wholeness, rest, and a moment to stop counting so we can become once more aware. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.